Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto, ready to chat about what is happening today in crypto land. So let us begin. And where to start, actually? I guess we'll start right at the top with talking about the price. Of course, we have Bitcoin down about 1%. It is sitting at 1,000, I scared you there, right? 1,000. No, it's sitting at $19,250. We have Ethereum down 1%, and that is sitting at $1,305. So both about 1%. Pretty much the story for the market, flat. I think the big thing the markets are waiting for here is the inflation data that's due out later this week, and there is usually quite a little bit of volatility surrounding the announcement of that. So I do think that things are going to be picking up and presenting opportunities for swing traders to lose a lot of money. But anyway, let's see, specifically to Bitcoin, when we're talking about news, the total difficulty is up over 13.5% after the recent adjustment. It has been hitting all-time highs despite the bear market. I don't know what's going on here, where you have more and more miners competing for the block reward for Bitcoin, at least when it comes to hash rate. And that is, again, increasing the difficulty and making it more difficult for people to be able to mine the network. And I don't know, I guess some of this could be the fact that you have Ethereum just not there for mining with proof of work anymore. So maybe you have miners moving from Ethereum over to Bitcoin if they were able to sell their graphics cards and get equipment for Bitcoin. That I could imagine if they want to resume mining, then they would do so with Bitcoin, since most coins are just not profitable these days. But one coin that is also not profitable, maybe you heard about, is Zen. That's XEN. So XEN coin has launched. One of the first employees at Google who was developing cloud infrastructure seems to have decided to launch a Hex-like Ponzi scheme, which has a 20% yield to it and can be claimed with MetaMask or other kinds of Ethereum-based wallets. And it is down over 99%, but it was supposed to be some sort of fair launch where the founders didn't get some portion of the coins, and it didn't have admin keys like exist with Hex in a sort of way. So this is just something that fueled a lot of demand for the Ethereum network and resulted in the last 2 days for Ethereum a deflationary rate, because the more that the Ethereum network is used, more fees are burnt. They're paid by users, and a good portion of those get burnt. And as that happens, we've entered a scenario where over the last 24 hours, we've had 0.5% deflation with Ethereum, 0.2% on average for the week, which is making, on average again for the week, Ethereum deflationary, which is relative to Bitcoin's 3.5% inflation rate, making Ethereum look like ultrasound money. And so this is the kind of thing that plays out when you have something that drives utility of the network. For Bitcoin, for the most part, I would say it's speculation and investment at the very least as a hedge to try to get into some sort of safe haven asset, for example, or just an asset that is not deflating as quickly as other currencies that can be inflated infinitely. But when you have something that's even stronger in that regard, and it also has utility in the form of smart contracts, just one project like this in a bear market can cause so much to be burned. It just looks like over the long term, Ethereum will be giving Bitcoin a real run for its money if it continues to remain deflationary. And during the bull market, you can easily imagine how much people are willing to pay in fees just to get some sort of DeFi transaction done, just to interact with some sort of airdrop or claim something like the Zen token, which, by the way, be very careful buying it. I'm hearing there are liquidity issues if you're trying to sell it. It's pretty much only on Uniswap or one of these kinds of exchanges. Especially Uniswap is really where you're seeing the volume, but I don't see anyone really buying this thing. I think that comes after folks have finished claiming it. Then comes the part where people start shilling it and trying to get others into it to buy their bags. But it gets difficult to do that in a bear market. So it's really up to you to assess whether it's going to be worth paying the gas fees on Ethereum that have spiked a huge amount. They were sitting around 10 gwei. They jumped up over 285 gwei all of a sudden out of nowhere for transactions because of demand for this token. Do be careful with that one. I would advise caution for that. No guarantees it'll ever go up, but I mean, I've seen strange things happen in crypto, such as the fact that everyone who used Celsius seems to have been doxxed, right? We talked about that. Well, there's a website that has sprung up. I didn't have the opportunity to mention it to you when I did my last video in the end of last week, but it was celsiusnetworth.com. So if you go over to celsiusnetworth.com, you can see a leaderboard of people who have lost the most money on Celsius when accounts were frozen. And that at the top is a gentleman who lost, and people are just pointing at him like, ouch, you think you lost a lot? That hurts. $40 million plus in Bitcoin. Well, if he's that wealthy, right? He's the founder of a social media company that was, it's called 20, and it was bought by Telefónica, that Spanish telecoms company, one of the biggest one in Spain. The founder seems to be the person who had that 40 million. So I'm sure he has plenty of net worth elsewhere. Probably, I would hope so, other than Celsius. So he's probably going to be all right. But one individual might not be all right, as people are dissecting the names on that list. And yeah, you can enter your own name to see how much you might have lost, which was an individual named Zarin Denzel, who is number 7 on that list as far as losses, losing just north of $15 million at Celsius. And it looks like he's just having a real string of bad luck. Hopefully that's not the rest of whatever he had, because it looks like in 2021 in Spain, again, to bring up the country another time, there was an intrusion in this poor bloke's house when he was 38 years old. He hears a doorbell, and 4 or 5, according to police reports, different armed individuals with hoods broke into his house. They covered his eyes, they covered his security cameras, and proceeded to spray him in the eyes and beat him for several hours while they stole his belongings and got access to an account that held his millions worth of euros in cryptocurrency. Probably Bitcoin, I think is what it was, but don't quote me on that one. But imagine that happens to you, and then you lose everything else in Celsius like this. It's just some real bad luck for this individual. I imagine it would be really nice if you had some sort of security system where if the cameras get covered up, it calls the cops, or something like that, because basically when this happened to him, no one came to help him. It's pretty much an upgraded $5 wrench attack. It was a little bit more expensive, I suppose. I don't know how much these burglars get paid by the hour, or if you're going to be hiring fellow burglars to break into a house. But I remember watching this documentary on Netflix recently about celebrities in Los Angeles getting robbed, like Paris Hilton, and it was just a small little cohort of basically teenagers who would find information on where celebrities were online, research them, use things like Google Maps to go on street level and see what, kind of stake the place out. So with modern technology and websites, it's already dangerous enough. Now it's even more dangerous when all of that information, you could see someone's basically putting it all together, right? Because by seeing with the document on Celsius, you can see how much somebody lost. You might assume how much more they have. You can see transactions as far as how much they withdrew, down to the 8 decimals that we looked at. And then that can be put alongside Blockchain Explorer, and you can see exactly, okay, so if this was done on this date, what amount happened for that coin on that block explorer for that date. Then you can start putting pieces together and find people's actual crypto addresses, see how much is left, and then you can find targets that way. So naturally, a lot of people who've been in crypto for a long time and were doxxed here with Celsius are kind of scared, and they have every reason to be, because it's not just digital hacks that happen. There are these kinds of home invasions. So I would advise that if you are one of these people, to be very, very careful. I know some of you guys have watched the show for a long time. It's the kind of thing that makes you want to uproot yourself, right? And I don't know how much that would help you. At the very least, it might help to move your funds to like an exchange and withdraw to a brand fresh address in order to circumvent this. So just be very careful, guys. I don't want anything to happen to you. And also, speaking about some mix-uppers that's happening, mix-uppers that's happening for positions in crypto heads. We had Leon Lee, the head of Huobi Global, step down, seemingly to Justin Sun, the founder of Tron. It looks like the investment fund, there's an investment fund in Hong Kong that is spearheaded. The main investor is Justin Sun, and they have bought out Huobi Global as far as majority shareholders. And Leon Lee, previously at the head of Huobi Global, is stepping down. So that could mean some big changes to that exchange if it's something that you're using coming up very soon. They'll be like, hey, claim your Tron airdrop, set up a wallet, do it, like happened on Steemit, if you guys remember that. I don't know what will happen, but I also do not know what will happen with OpenSea coming up here. Maybe they're going to be facing issues. This is the biggest NFT marketplace out there. The CFO was announced yesterday as having stepped down, according to his LinkedIn post. The chief financial officer of OpenSea might be seeing perhaps that there's trouble coming up. Maybe it's going to be all placed on him, the blame for any losses in operating revenue and the like. Just because of the bear market, it might serve better for that individual to move forward. Previously, he had worked as the Microsoft vice president of corporate and some other reputable firms as far as I've seen. So I imagine he's probably going to be all right, and it's better reputationally for him to back off before you start getting real negative hit pieces, you know, in relation perhaps to his management of things. But it's just bear market woes, right? What else? Portugal. So in Portugal, oh wow, we're hitting the entire world here. So in Portugal, it's been one of the best havens for cryptocurrency investment, just because there's really been no tax there. But that is due to change. It looks like when the budget for 2023 is presented in January, people will have to be paying up to 28% taxes in cryptocurrency. That is only going to apply for holders of cryptocurrencies that hold for less than 1 year. So if you hold longer term, you're still going to be getting that 0% tax treatment. What else we got? I think that's pretty much some of the main stuff that I wanted to hit on today. Didn't want to make too long of a video, but let me know what I missed. Oh, there was a super important one. Actually, I think this is very exciting if you're someone who's rooting for decentralization in the best ways possible, oftentimes helping privacy as well. Something that might be helping in due time with much faster transactions on Ethereum, or just off of Ethereum, depending how you're looking at it, and also cheaper transactions, so you don't have to pay those huge fees when something like XEN comes out, is the announcement of the launch by Polygon of their zk-EVM testnet. So they had said they were going to be launching this in the summer. Maybe it was a little bit late when it came out, but it has finally come out, and it looks like you're going to have projects like Uniswap probably keen in testing out these zero knowledge proofs for the Ethereum virtual machine, where basically you get encrypted small bundles of data together that can prove that something is true. Using these proofs, those are what allow all of this to scale. And it's been said by some that it's like several years away to actually get some sort of public release of this, but it seems the timeline may have advanced quite a lot, at least according to the heads of Polygon, who just released this testnet, who have been trying to get this launch for a while. But this is huge, because it means if we have DeFi applications onboarding onto this, and you decide to use that protocol specifically, you will be paying much lower fees and getting faster transactions that will seem pretty much real time, while not sacrificing decentralization, which is really, really huge. So I'm sure we're going to be hearing more about Polygon's zk-EVM testnet and move to launch soon, and I'll be sure to update you guys as we get closer to that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and you'll consider hitting that like button. Means a lot, guys. Thank you so much for the support, for the love, and a reminder to subscribe if you do want this content straight to you in the future, especially if you hit that little bell icon. You can join us when we do the live streams. That's always fun. Take care, much love, and stay cryptic. Peace.